Okay, I'm back. Let's see how this is going here. Okay. Is this better, guys? Tell me if this is better. Hold on. Okay. See if I have some luck here.
We're looking for
Pretty smile.
3, 4, 5.
They said it's much better. Woo! Okay, come on. I can go back to my spot. Sorry, you all. I'm just trying to get it together. All right, so the next person that I'm going to talk with is Pretty Smile. 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry. I'm off of the camera. Hold on. He's saying it's much better. Okay, I think Dr. Katz is hopping back on here. Okay, everyone said it's fine. It was good enough. Okay, but it's okay. But everyone's saying it's better now, so I think it was worth the hop off. Now I'm going to look up Pretty Smile.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, Pretty Smile. 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's not showing. Come on. I wonder if we ever get in touch with her. Pretty Smile.
Go back.
Oh, here, you can search it. Okay, guys, we're just trying to get on one more person here, and then if I can get like 1 or 2 more people, I can then hop on with my doctor, so we can hear from him. All right, and I can also pull up some of the questions that are in the box. Those are always fun. Okay, so exit out of there. We can try this here. In the interim, while we try to find our other person, I'm going to check the question box here and see what people have to say. It says here, need more questions in the inbox. Okay. All right. Well, maybe what I can do here is I think I'm gonna hop on with Dr. Katz. Can I see my notebook, T? I'm gonna hop on with Dr. Katz because I know that I have some questions for him and he'll be able to help us. Hold on here. But these questions are for all of us. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm struggling right now. The struggle is real. Man, my eye.
Pretty Smile 3, 4, 5 confirmed.
Oh, she smiled. Okay, but she she confirmed. Hold on, guys. Why is it not letting me tell her to request?
Okay.
It's not even letting me click on this thing. Oh my gosh, I do this every time. What is up with my lives? What is really going on? Like, why can I not properly do my live chats with people? Tell me, why am I losing so much? Hold on. I'm pressing the number. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Pretty Smile. Okay, there we are. Send. Okay, and then maybe I have Dr. Katz. I'm losing. Just want my Instagram live to work. Let my Instagram live work. Please. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see if I can find. He said just sent the request. Okay, I'm going to try Dr. Katz. Okay, here we go. It's not even allowing me to press it, though. It's weird. There has to be something wrong. Maybe if I try from my other phone. Okay, guys, hold on.
See his request.
He said he sent a request, but I can't. Okay. I sent that back. And then what happens here?
What do you see?
Keep doing that. I'm pressing view. It's not letting me do it.
Can you try to request
I
it?
wonder if I try to do live. How do I do the request?
Or try to search.
Because I ended up being lucky with... I'm going to try this phone, guys. Hey, guys. Hold on. I don't even know what to do, guys.
No, this is interesting.
All right, I think I have to hang up and try once more.
Wait.
No?
No.
What happened? Okay, don't give up.
Nope.
Let's turn this back around.
What is going on?
It's so weird. Maybe if I try my other phone, it will work.
Do you want to try that?
Let me try. I think I might try one more device here, guys, to see if I have luck. Otherwise, I think I have to have a chat with Instagram because...
Tell him to comment.
Yeah, okay, Dr. Katz, put a comment on there.
At least
Oh, okay, I see. Tell him to comment.
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
No, that's how we did it last time.
Okay,
Yeah, this is good.
comment, Dr. Katz, and then I can punch you in there. I think it's going to work, guys. Same thing for Pretty Smell 345. This is going to work, guys. Hold on.
Looking for podcasts.
There we go. Perfect. Go live. All right, just waiting for Dr. Katz to hop on in here. Oh my gosh, praise the Lord.
Wow. That is harder than delivering a baby. That's all I can say.
I concur. But we made it. Praise the Lord. I'm so happy.
Good
Okay,
job.
Yay, everyone. Dr. Katz is in the building.
I have to thank my IT people, though, because my girls helped me out with this.
I know. Come on, girls, hop on here so everybody can see your faces. Hi. Awesome girls. Just awesome girls who are actually at home with you now because of COVID. They typically would live in New York, but they're here in California with you, right?
I must say, I feel very blessed. It's a mixed blessing because it's sad that we have to live under these circumstances, and it breeds a lot of anxiety. But there's a silver lining to everything, and the silver lining is that we get to be home with our family and enjoy our family and be together. And you can't take that away. And it's all about being safe and being together, and we're lucky.
Amen. I think that's kind of been our perspective here is, I think for me, my greater concern I always have is just for the general population, because I know that these times have created another layer of challenges for people that already had challenges at the base of their worlds and what they're doing, and their jobs and all that stuff. But I will say, I think it's a blessing to be able to spend this much time with our families and to kind of try to do our best to find the positives during this time, which I know you and I talk about this all the time, especially for the expectant mothers. What are some of the things that we need to know? What is the way that we can kind of face this thing head on, and find the positives in the experience? Like we have my ultrasound yesterday with you and Russ having to be in the car and do the FaceTime.
He looked good in the car, though. He looked great in the car.
Darling, he looks great everywhere, if I must say. No, but it was different. It was different to have to do our ultrasound that way. And I just remember, by the way, guys, I actually wore my mask upside down in the office, but Dr. Katz was looking at me, and then he was like talking, and I'm like, why is he turning his head? And he's like, you have your mask upside down. And we're basically talking to each other through the mask. And I refused to take my mask off and turn it around. I was like, you know what? I'm stuck like this because I just, again, living in the COVID space, I had on gloves. I went in with gloves. I didn't want to touch the elevator button. And then thank God for you guys being so sweet to me that I changed my gloves like multiple times when I was in the office, and you guys would give me a new set of gloves. You know, but I'm just trying to take every precaution to protect myself, to protect my future baby, and then also my babies at home. So I think that being said, I have a
By
list
the
of
way,
things.
we're trying to do the same thing for you. And as upsetting as it is that Russ couldn't physically be there, we're trying to protect you from all the other fathers that want to be in the office as well. And I think that if we limit the number of people, and the whole reason why California and why we're doing so well is because we're adhering to these rules of wear your mask, wash your hands, do the social distancing, and all that stuff. If you really do it, you know, the odds are it's going to work and help. And I think that our biggest concern is safety to the healthcare workers, safety to our moms, safety to the babies, and safety to the fathers as well, and
Yeah. So
family around. So I
yes.
think that that's the most important thing that we take from this.
Yeah. So that being said, I don't know if you got to hear the young lady I was speaking with earlier, and she was talking about her situation where her water broke early. She's now in hospital. She's on bed rest, hoping to make it 2 more weeks with her baby still staying in her belly before having to deliver, or whatever may, you know, whenever that time may come for her. And to your point about the husbands and stuff, what is your thoughts on her scenario? Because in my mind, I don't know about everybody else, but when they say that if she tested for positive, then her partner would have to leave the hospital, wouldn't it make sense for her partner? Maybe they, I don't know, maybe they separate, but doesn't he get tested too? And then I don't know. I'm just trying to wrap my
So
head around like what is the best thing to do, or why would the partner be removed from that hospital, from her hospital setting, if that makes any sense.
So a couple things. First of all, Jazz is very lucky that she's been able to keep the pregnancy going for, you know, this extra time since she broke her bag of water. So I think that's fantastic, number one. And number two is this is a time right now with that there's so much change. And the epidemiologists at the hospital are really trying to figure out what is the safest thing for the patient, the husband, and the baby at this time. And as you mentioned, you know, last week there was one rule, next week it's another rule, and these rules are changing, you know, daily. We at Cedars, we were testing all the moms for COVID for a week, and we found out nobody tested positive, so they've now stopped doing the testing.
Oh
And
wow.
husbands are allowed in the labor room, and partners are allowed in the labor room, and partners are there for the delivery in C-sections as well. But that's at one hospital. Everybody's got their own, you know, there are hot spots around the country, such as in Brooklyn and New York City and some other hot spots where the rules are different, really just to provide safety for everybody. So nobody's trying to punish the husbands or the moms or anybody. We're really just trying to be safe for them, and we're trying to devise what the right answer is as you go along.
Yeah. So hopefully that helped you out, Jasmine, because I know you raised a question about that. And I was just saying to her, I gave love to Chris as well, her partner, for being a trooper with her, because he's basically living at the hospital with her right now, so he doesn't leave and come back in.
You know what the good news is? She'll have the baby for the rest of her life too. So that's fantastic.
Amen. Exactly. So they'll play catch up on their experiences together with the
Exactly.
newborn baby. So then also, okay, so then there's a couple of questions that I have for you. I wanted to start with the testing part of it, just to kind of re-educate ourselves. I know we all hear about like the type of testing that's available during this time for pregnant women. But also in general, I know when I was talking to you, there were kind of a few new discoveries, like the possibility of testing blood by blood work and stuff like that. So can you kind of update us on what your understanding of that piece of it all is?
So let's start just from the beginning. The deal is that if you have a fever, if you have a productive cough, if you're short of breath, those are all potential signs of the COVID virus, okay? And really, if you have mild symptoms, the best thing you can do is stay home, drink fluids, rest, take it easy, okay? So that's the most important thing you can do. But if you are symptomatic, then they do have testing that can be done either within the hospital or they have tents outside the hospital. And again, every hospital and area have different rules. And what has been done up until now is the nasopharyngeal swab, where they take a little Q-tip and they try to get a specimen and they send it off. The if the test comes back positive, it's most likely that you have it. But if it's negative, there's still up to a 30% chance of there being a false negative, meaning the test is negative, but you really have it. So it's not a great test. So right now, the hospitals are trying to study the different types of blood tests, like an antibody screen, where you take a sample of blood and you can actually test to see if the antibody is present. The problem is that right now, and you got to be very careful because there are some private companies that are trying to do these things and they may not be FDA approved. So you really want to use something that is FDA approved and something that has been studied. And so we're now, Cedar's just opened up a blood testing for the employees to find out if anybody was positive, to see if it's real. And if not, and then hopefully be able to roll it out so we can do more testing for everybody.
Yeah, that would be huge.
It's still a work in progress, and we just have to be patient. And the other thing we have to be patient for is a vaccine also, because that will certainly help us out in the future. But testing is definitely an issue, and they're working very hard to find out what the best test is so that we can help our patients.
Yeah, I think that would be huge because I know there was also the question about the amount of kits and things like that we had for testing and how it kind of limited the opportunity for as many people as possible to get tested. So I look forward to hearing more updates on that. And I do think the opportunity to do testing by blood work will be huge.
The antibody screen will definitely be more sensitive than the nasopharyngeal swab, we're hoping, but we'll see.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. And then so the next question I had, that my first instinct when we start hearing a little bit about the pregnant woman, because like I said, they don't talk about us pregnant women as much as I'd like to hear as a pregnant woman in the media, but I said maybe there's a positive to it because it doesn't seem to be like a lot of women that are expecting are getting the virus, which seems like a lot of people are being as precautious as possible. And I'm pretty sure I can speak on behalf of most pregnant women around the world that we take extra steps to like really keep ourselves like, clean as possible, and like just taking all the precautionary measures that we need to take to stay as safe as we can. But my first instinct, I was like, well, we should deliver the baby at home. That was like what I was thinking. I was like, home is going to probably be better than being at the hospital. But what are your thoughts on that as far as home deliveries versus the hospital deliveries during this time?
That is a very, very great question. And a lot of people are asking that question as well. It turns out that the hospital is a much safer place to be. Number one is when you walk through the door, everybody gets their temperature checked. Everybody's wearing a mask, and all the nurses are very, very careful at making sure that your experience is safe and healthy. When you do something at home, you don't really know who's coming into your house, where they've been elsewhere, if they've been tested, who else they've been in contact with. And the hospital is taking extreme precaution right now. And you really don't want to change course because of this fear. And I still think it's a lot safer. And you never know what happens at home too, because if there's an emergency, then you have to get quickly sent to a hospital for whatever complications that may arise. So you are much safer and much better place to be in a hospital at this time, especially than at home. I feel very strongly about that also, by the way.
Yeah, I know you told me, you was like, as your friend, I strongly advise against that. If you say something like that, then I know it's factual, because I know you will always want to do what's best for the baby and for the mommy as well. And of course, dad.
Right.
So then, all right. So what happens? I think you talked about this, like what happens if we kind of did, but what happens if I get symptoms? Which I kind of feel like we touched on it a little bit.
We did. Yeah. Again, a very good question. And the most important thing to do is what you would do even if you were not pregnant. You'd stay at home, you'd drink fluids, you'd rest, you'd take care of yourself, and make sure somebody puts food underneath your door so that you don't come in contact with them. But we're still doing a lot of testing and studying, But so far, as of now, nobody's shown that there's any vertical transmission. So even if you were COVID positive, there's not a lot of things showing that the baby would necessarily be affected. The biggest risk factor would be, if you really got sick, would be more like preterm labor and preterm delivery, more so than a complication to the baby as a result of the COVID. But it would potentially make you deliver early.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like I'm looking over my list of all my things that we talked about. We talked about who's allowed in the delivery room, which we talked about that, and how it's every hospital's different. At Cedars, you guys are actually allowing the spouses at this moment, but you talked about like the process of that all.
But they're also allowed in the C-section room too, if somebody needs a C-section. So they get to be with that entire experience. So we're just not having outside family members present. But again, thank God we live in today's time where you can FaceTime and Zoom and do all those things.
Yeah, I know. It definitely was surreal doing that the other day, it was just kind of like, what? It's just a reminder of the times that we're in, where it's almost like we're living in a movie. And it's kind of, okay, what is this? Where does this go? You know, how is this going to continue to develop? And, you know, I know we talked about before how it was at one point in time that in New York, for a short week, they were not allowing spouses to be into the deliveries, but now that seemed to have changed. But
yeah, they realized that was not a good idea.
Yeah, and I think, and then also too, for example, the girl Jasmine and John Hopkins, her hospital's different too, because they don't allow the spouse to be in the room if there's a C-section.
That may change though. You don't know what's going to happen next week. So
she did say things are going day by day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm trying to see some comments here. Let me see. Thank you for taking time out to talk about this. If there's any other questions anyone else has, it'd be cool for you guys to put some on the board now while Dr. Katz is here. Because
just in continuing the conversation, it's very anxiety producing and everybody's nervous. But again, if you do all the right things by, we're here. I'm even going to demonstrate.
Oh, let me see.
Keep your mask on, everybody.
Keep your mask on.
Keep your mask on.
That's exactly it. I definitely am practicing that. I don't leave the house really for anything. I haven't had to leave the house for anything really, and unless it's the ultrasound and stuff like that, like the big necessities and important things in my world and in my life. And that's kind of been our attitude here, and staying home has been huge. I know the curve has been flattening. It seems like it's actually working with us being home.
Hopefully by July, when you're due, things will be a lot different. Hopefully we'll have some kind of normalcy.
Yeah, I think that I agree with you that things are going to continue to get better. I believe it is, as long as we all stay home. I think that's the key, is everybody staying home and giving as much opportunity for guys like yourself to do the research on how the virus can be attacked from the clinical perspective. And then again, us doing our part. So I'm grateful that you hopped on this call with me. I hope that everyone on this call that needed some questions answered, got some of those questions answered. Because again, I don't think that you hear too much about us pregnant women during this time. And
let me add one other thing, because you had that nurse that was curious about something. And I take care of a lot of physicians as well as nurses that are pregnant at this time. And I think the most important thing is that their hospitals or their situations just take them out of COVID-related areas. You can still, do your whatever you do. You can still do your nursing, or you can still be a physician and be in a hospital setting. But just I'm sure you tell your administrators, and they will put you in the right place. I think that's the most important thing for that.
Sweet. Dr. Katz, you are the best.
Thank you so much for having me on.
I know, this is a treat.
Pleasure. Once again, I want to thank my IT staff and your IT staff.
I know. Listen, we couldn't do it without them. Your daughters are amazing. You're an awesome doctor, but you're also an awesome dad. And again, I hope that today was a little bit of insight for those that needed it, for all the expectant mothers and even just the families that are surrounding that and surrounding supporting that expectant mother. from the husbands to, you know, the sisters, the grandmas, everyone. And hopefully, maybe we won't have another round of this have to have another round of this conversation, but any that we do, I look forward to us talking again and you giving us all updates. This is healthy.
Congratulations to all your pregnant patients, all your pregnant followers, and just go with the flow. That's all I have to say. Go with the flow.
Go with the flow. And you're in the middle of a delivery basically right now.
I did one right before I got on with you, not in the middle. I finished
okay.
that one.
Because I know sometimes you can take a break and then go back, but that's amazing. So you're outstanding. Thank you so much for your time today.
All right. All the best to you and the family. Okay.
Awesome. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Say bye.
Bye, ladies.